I'm Mark Robertson back with you, talking about my book, Carrying Lawn Chairs, Youth Sports, and Other Parental Mindsets. As I mentioned at the beginning of each one of our sessions here, the book is divided into two parts, which you can get it on Amazon, electronic version or the actual book version. And the first part, we talked about parents, organized youth sports, and their kids, and all the problems I have with it. And I really don't think there are a lot of solutions. The problem is the organized sports itself, especially for young kids. Again, I wouldn't put young kids into organized youth sports. Let them play in the backyard. Let them play freely, have authentic play. Organized youth sports disrupts authentic play, in my opinion, and it's not good for young kids. Wait till they're older. They can get involved in organized youth sports if they want. If they don't want to, no big deal. Today's topic, in the second part of the book, we talk about parents and the child dynamic on many other related topics. And today's topic is one that kind of covers both parts of the book and almost every chapter. The title is Individuality. There are so many forces in today's society going after our child's individuality and trying to make them the same and conform. Every child is born with unique talents, a very unique fingerprint, are all different. They're designed differently by God. And even in the same family, I mean, you have families, you have siblings. It's amazing. I have nieces and nephews in the same family that are really very different from each other. One's very outgoing, the life of the party. The other one's shy and reserved. And they're in the same family. And it's amazing. So God designs each child. Each of us, we're different. We have something different, something very unique to offer the world. Now, it's kind of a paradox here because kids do need to learn things. They need to learn how to read, write, spell, do math, learn history and things like that, although it's not a lot of problems with that in schools. We talked about that in our schools section. But so they need to go against the grain, but some just aren't cut out for schools and things like that. And everybody learns in their own unique way. And schools really aren't set up to deal with or help children in their individual way to learn. And like I said, this doesn't mean a child can't use the excuse, I'm not designed to take out the trash, or I'm not designed to clean my room or make my bed. It's not. I'm not talking about that. We all have to do our duties in this world and be responsible. But each child is designed differently, and it's something we should celebrate. Parents worry about this. Sometimes parents see their kids and they're not like other kids. Oh my gosh! Well, their goal is not to bring out the best in the child; it's to get them to be like the other kids, be more with it, and they may even compare them and make them to do that, or try to make them do that. If they compare them and talk well about another child, they think, wow, maybe I'll get my child to act that way because their child doesn't have any problems and he's doing great or she's doing great. And so obviously they'll have situations where they have problems as well. They just don't want to bring that up. And like I say, young people learn differently, and focus on bringing up the uniqueness in the child, in your child. They all have something special to offer the world. And this is the goal. This is our goal. Conformity, that's communism. I mean, we don't want the child to conform. Yes, we have to conform to society. We can't speed when we're going down the street. We have to obey the laws and things like that. And some people are natural conformers too. I mean, you have accountants in this world. You have people, engineers. You need very detailed conformity to real laws of gravity, of engineering design, and things like that. So you have to conform there. I'm not really talking about that either. Engineering a mind in its own way is creative and being itself. So each child is different. And but like I say, we all have to develop our talents that we're born with, and the parent's job is to find those talents and bring them out of the kids. And that's how they're the happiest. And putting them into organized youth sports at a very young age disrupts all that flow. Natural play is where they learn about themselves and they learn about this world, and then they are better able to compete in this tough, cruel world. And you ever notice babies when they're young, or even very young children, they're never bored. They always know what they want to do. They're living in their design. They're laughing. They're happy. I mean, I know they cry, they get hungry and things like that, but they always know what they're doing. They're never bored. They know what they want to do. Even young kids, they know what they want to do. They know what they want to play. They know how they want to play. They know what they want to create. They know what they want to do. Of course, you need boundaries and rules and things like that, but young kids are never bored. Where do they lose that? And they see so much of this world as unexplored and a treasure of endless possibilities. And that's how they look at it. But somewhere along the way, they're pushed to conform. They lose all this wonder about the world, and it's just a shame. I mean, even as adults, we need to keep our wonder of this world, all the beauty, all the miracles in this world. Everything is a miracle, or nothing is a miracle, as Einstein said. And I go with everything is a miracle. And you have either, it's kind of different too. Uh, Either we're all the same or we're all different, and there's no doubt that we're all different. So trying to make everybody the same goes against the grain. Is not a good thing to do. People are different. People are individuals, and authentic play to me as a child is the best way to flower that individuality, to bring out their the individual that they are. Play is the work of children. This is what they do. This is what they naturally do, and I know you have things like music lessons and things like this where they have to do rote memory or rote practice and things like that. That's part of it. I wouldn't start kids in music lessons real young either, though. Maybe not before 10 either. And so they just can't run around and all be magical world every day. Yes, there are responsibilities they have to do, but they need to keep their wonder and all that they're born with of this world. And hopefully we can all keep that for a long time. It's hard to do in this world of conformity, of balancing your checkbook, of computers, of passwords, of all this stuff we got to deal with every day. And it's hard not to conform, and hard not to want to conform, to think that's the best way to get along in the world. But the best way to get along in this world is to be your unique individual self. And we fight for that every day. We should be fighting for that, to be ourselves. The freedom to be ourselves is the greatest gift we can go after. And when you're not free to be yourselves, you have stress, you have anxiety, and all this other stuff that you're trying to get along in this world, and it's not good. And like I say, there are times in this world we all have to go against our grain and things like that. There's not a perfect world, but to be yourself, have the freedom to be yourself, is what we should all strive for and keep fighting for. We have to fight for it to be ourselves. It's a battle, because you're going to have constant forces trying to get you to conform. And it's not easy. We all make some mistakes, and we all fall back and try to conform to this world. But it's the way to go is to be your individual self and keep working on that and finding out who that is. And like I say, kids learn that through play and natural play, and they have a natural wonder for the world. It's God put that in them, and they lose it. They have it. They always have it. We all still have it, actually. It might be buried deep within us, but we all have it. That great desire for wonder of this wonderful world, and to see it in its all and greatness. And but like I say, that should be the goal, to keep that and find the child's strengths. Schools stifle individuality quite often, and like I say, you go to schools, you sit in rows, you got to conform, you got to do the same subject, you got to do the same topics, you got to do the same homework, you got to do all this, all that. Not that learning can't be rigorous. Yes, it is. We have to learn. We have to do things. But schools do stifle individuality. We have learning styles. There's different ways to learn. And God does not make anybody inadequate, parents. Your children are all miracles of God. No one is inferior. We're all born gifts from God. We lose our special feelings about ourselves along the way because we're ridiculed, cut down, and everything else. And why does a young child commit suicide? How do they get to that point? Well, to me, it's they lose their sense of their individuality, their self-worth of who they are and what they had to offer to this world. And it comes from trying to conform to this world. And it creates so much pressure and stress that they just lose track of who they are and how they are to get along in this world. And it's just such a sad situation. And I'm not by any means an expert, but I know that has a lot to do with it. They're on the wrong track of who they are. They're not being themselves. If they were themselves, obviously they wouldn't commit suicide. And so individuality is a very light subject, but it can be a very deep subject as well. Kids should be focused on their individuality. And another thing gets in the way of it, of course, is peer pressure. They all want to conform because they want to be loved. Even kids in gangs are under peer pressure. They want a familial situation because oftentimes their families are broken families, and they look to be part of a family. Everybody wants to be part of a family. We'll be talking about the family here in an upcoming chapter. And but it all has to do with kind of related. It's people want to be themselves. They want to be loved for being themselves, and you get that in a family. And so it's all when they're even trying to conform, they're really seeking love quite often, and they want people to like them. And if they don't like them for who they are, well, they'll try to be someone else. They'll do whatever it takes to be loved or get respect from people or to be liked or at least not to be teased or something like that. It might be a negative way as well. So individuality is a very important topic. And thanks for joining us today. We'll talk to you next time.